Hi, it's Charlotte, and I'm here today to show you 10 cards, one kit from Love from Lizi's March 2020 kit. And I thought what I'd do first is show you what I have left over because I actually made the cards. This is not a processing video, although I will have some of those in the future. So all the cards are already completed and I'll show them to you. But first I wanted to show you everything that I had left over. And as you can see, these were all the leftover papers. I did use quite a bit of the papers, but still have quite a bit left over. As well, I have many of the strips and some of the patterned paper, quite a bit of that. I'm almost half, I think, exactly. Another set of all the patterned paper, and I actually copied the sentiments because I loved them so much and didn't want to run out of them. I copied them on paper and I actually used the copies on my cards. I have the shaker mix left, quite a few wood cutout letters, and I used just about all my cutouts. And then there's some additional paper here, and that's, oh, and of course, the thing you'll have left forever is the die cut. Okay, so now for the first card, oh, and washi tape. The first card is one where I used one of the owls. And here it is. I used some of the pattern paper, cut 4 1/4, actually 4 by 5 1/4, on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. I cut a circle with a circle die in it, mounted that on top of the feather paper, and then cut another smaller circle, and just used some oxide hickory smoke ink to distress ink to color that. I also used some of the black soot around the edges of the owl to make them stand out a little more, and used the follow your own sentiment. And this is actually the stamp that came in the kit. I did some stamp surgery and cut that down the center because it had already been lined up to the right and I wanted it centered. So I cut it and centered it and stamped it on one of these little cutouts that came in the kit. That's card number 1. Card number 2 is my Father's Day card. On this one, I took some of the small pattern paper, which was actually larger. I cut it down, I cut this middle section out of it and put the two other sections together, and then in the center used some of the paper from the centerpiece I'd cut out. You'll have to look at the paper to see what I'm probably talking about there. I cut out these from pattern paper. This is one of the stamps that Dreamcatcher from the stamp set. And then I used the Nouveau shimmer powder that was included in the kit to color the wood chips letters, and mounted that on top of one of the plaques from the cutouts, and then also added another sentiment strip from the pack. This is also from the stamp set. The the feather from the stamp set I stamped a number of times in a pattern on the Copic friendly white cardstock that was sent to us, and then I black embossed that. I embossed that eagle with, actually I just stamped it with some pumice stone distress ink, and then I clear embossed it on top of that. Then it made a really good base to take in some of that Nouveau shimmer powder again, add a little water to it, and just kind of watercolor in here. Mounted that on one of the pattern papers here that was popped up on foam tape. And then here also I just took some of the Copic cardstock and used pumice stone ink on that as well to make that match and tie into the eagle. All right, fourth card. This was a cutout where all of this, the binoculars and this, was all on the same cutout. So I actually fussy cut these out of that and then mounted them separately using the wood grain pattern paper and some of the canvas pattern paper. And then I had this background was my husband's idea. He had said it looked just a little too plain without it. I had mounted it just the binoculars on it first. So I actually cut this out of that tag that came in the card. And then I added Lizi's strips down the sides. All right. The fifth card uses the die that came in the kit. And I first started with the gray or bluish gray colored cardstock and added some of the silver shimmer cardstock, a strip of that down the edge, one of the other pattern papers down the edge. I love these hinges, so I added those again and cut some circles out of the canvas, lined that with some black soot again, made another circle, colored that, I think, with black soot as well, and then made another circle out of that same pattern paper and added these sentiments and a little nouveau of my own silver lining drops for the center. Okay, so that is 5. Number 6 is this card that incorporates the washi tape into it. Washi tape and some strips of the canvas paper, some strips of one of the other pattern papers, and then repeat that sequence. I took one of the cutouts and of the window and just popped that up on some foam tape, added the word enjoy from the wood chips, added some of the sequins from the sequin mix, and then stamped that. That's another stamp surgery there. I cut the out of one of the other sentiments that were in the stamp set and then pasted on Simple Life sentiment. And the next card is using the butterflies from the kit. I mounted again on this grayish blue paper, which I really think is pretty, and then some of the silvery cream colored cardstock strip, another strip of the butterfly printed paper, and then a very thin strip of that same bluish gray paper. I used some of the darker sequins from the mix, and then I also used some glossy accents. I don't know if you can see that on the veins of the butterflies, and just added my soulmate, my love. 8th card, a shaker. So this is my only shaker card, and it doesn't shake very well, but I figured everybody kind of likes a shaker card, even if it doesn't shake much. Mounted that on top of the butterfly paper, Copic friendly white paper with Lizi's strips down the edges. This hello sentiment made out of the wood chips. Friend was a stamp from the stamp set. And then I did fussy cut all of these flowers out of the cutouts. And I actually even stacked more kind of a decoupage on top of it so that it have even a more elevated look. And my 9th card, using another of the owls. I took the feather paper. And actually, this feather paper is from the same one that was used over here, and just kind of covered that hole up with this cut apart that was in the kit, which if you can see close, if you look closely, you can see it has the oval in the background. But I kind of covered up with a lot of fussy cut leaves, and used this plaque again that was part of the cutouts and the sentiment strip for another Dad's Day card. So I have 2 Father's Day card. And my last card I saved for last because of what we're all going through now. I thought this would be a nice way to sum it up. And I hope you and all of yours are doing well through COVID. And hopefully we're all on our way to recovering in coming up real soon. Anyway, let's be strong together, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and please like me and do all the things, and I really appreciate you. Thank you, and have a great day.